In a darkened room, a violet light flicks on. A clear glass suddenly bursts into a ghostly blue glow, cold and eerie, as if it came from a nuclear reactor. But this is not science fiction. It is simply a glass of gin and tonic. That glow is not caused by dye or hidden LEDs, but by a quantum phenomenon embedded within the molecular structure of the drink itself. When ultraviolet UV light strikes the glass, it awakens sleeping electrons inside quinine molecules, a natural compound extracted from the bark of the cinchona tree in the Andes. It is a microscopic moment where light becomes art. Electrons absorb energy, leap to higher orbitals, then fall back down, releasing blue photons. This cycle repeats billions of times per second, turning your drink into a miniature quantum stage. The irony is that this beautiful light originates from a toxin, once a biological weapon evolved by plants to defend against predators. Yet that same toxin has saved millions of human lives from malaria. The story of tonic water is a strange journey from bitter tree bark, deep in tropical forests, to the brilliant blue glow of modern nightclubs where physics, chemistry, and evolution meet inside a single cocktail. Each photon is a packet of energy. And quinine C, 20H, 24N, 202 is a molecule exquisitely sensitive to it. When UV light arrives, electrons in quinine absorb energy and transition into an excited state, like all natural systems. However, they cannot remain energized for long. They fall back to the ground state, releasing excess energy as visible light. This process is known as fluorescence. The difference between absorbed and emitted energy is called the Stokes shift, the reason the emitted light appears blue rather than violet, with a longer wavelength than the incoming UV radiation. At the level of quantum physics, this interaction is a dialogue between matter and radiation. Photons and electrons exchange energy through discrete steps, strictly obeying the conservation of energy. For that reason, a glowing glass of tonic is not an illusion, but a visible demonstration of quantum mechanics. Within every drop, the laws described by Planck and Einstein unfold silently even as you lift the glass to your lips. That light is the residue of a quantum reaction, elegant, precise, and entirely natural. Yet quinine does more than glow, it is intensely bitter, almost unbearable to taste. Why, then, did humans choose to consume something so harsh? To understand this, we must travel back hundreds of millions of years, when taste itself evolved as a survival mechanism. For herbivores and humans alike, bitterness signals toxicity. Alkaloid molecules such as quinine often interfere with the nervous system or metabolic enzymes of anything that eats them. On the human tongue, quinine strongly activates TAS2R receptors, especially TAS2R4 and TAS2R7, producing an aversion stronger than that triggered by most natural compounds. The brain interprets this signal as danger, do not swallow. And yet the paradox remains: the very toxin that repels us once saved countless lives. The cinchona tree evolved quinine as a defense, but humans learned to harness its toxicity to kill the Plasmodium parasite, the cause of malaria. In evolution, a single molecule can hold opposing destinies, a weapon to one species and a medicine to another. Quinine stands as a vivid example of the fragile boundary between remedy and poison, a boundary sometimes measured in mere milligrams. When European explorers first entered tropical regions, they encountered an invisible nightmare. Malaria killed more soldiers than any battlefield enemy. Quinine became the empire's survival charm. Therapeutic treatment required doses of roughly 500 to 1,000 milligrams of quinine per day, enough to paralyze parasites circulating in the bloodstream. But the unbearable bitterness made the medicine difficult to consume. The British devised a clever solution: mix quinine with gin. Add lime and sugar. The result was both drinkable and life-saving. Modern tonic water, however, is far removed from its medicinal origins. Food safety regulations now limit quinine content to about 83 milligrams per liter, many times lower than pharmacological doses. In today's cocktails, quinine is no longer a drug but a historical flavor. It no longer destroys parasites, it merely destroys boredom. The blue glow you see under UV light is the chemical ghost of an era when humanity fought death with bitterness. The tonic in your hand is not just carbonated water. It is a microscopic museum of evolution, physics, and human history. Within it lives the electron dance of quantum mechanics, the survival strategies of plants, and the medical memory of empires once haunted by malaria. From toxin to medicine to refreshing beverage, the journey of quinine mirrors a fundamental human instinct to domesticate danger and transform it into pleasure. That blue light, in the end, reminds us that the cold laws of nature often hide within the smallest moments, even inside a glowing cocktail held quietly in the dark.